2017, it's winter time. I'm sitting in the bathroom. Don't worry, I'm not using the bathroom. I'm just hiding from my 5-year-old son. And the bathroom is one place I know that he will not follow me if I lock the door. And the reason I'm hiding in the bathroom is because I want to watch some sports highlights. And me and my wife haven't really talked about this formally, but both of us are very committed to having him not be all caught up in sports. My wife, this is true for her because she's a good person, and she's very intellectual, and she reads books, and she's all about current affairs, and she knows all that. For me, I'm not intellectual at all. I'm just one-dimensional, and my whole life I grew up playing sports. I was playing soccer. If I wasn't playing soccer, I was playing basketball. If I wasn't playing basketball, I was playing baseball. If I wasn't playing baseball, I was playing football. If I wasn't doing any of those, I was watching one of those. All the time I was playing, and I grew up in Southern California, so the sun is always out. I could always be out playing games, and I just didn't want that for my son. I just thought that there was more to this than just doing sports. So I would go and I would sneak into the bathroom and I'd watch my sports highlights because sports are my life, but they don't need to be his life. And everything was going great. I had dreamed of being a father since I was probably like 10 years old. So when my wife told me that she was pregnant, I already started. I was like, I'm gonna read to him in the womb for like an hour every night. And I knew he was listening because he would like kick when we came to the same part of the book. And then after he was born, we would keep up with it. I would read to him every night, and he took to talking early, he took to reading early. By the time he was like 3, he was reading books fluently by himself. And he would sit in the living room, call his grandparents on FaceTime who live in California, and he'd read to them from his books for like an hour. So I knew everything was going great. And then he even opened up a bookstore in front of our stoop when he was 5. Books he wrote himself, edited himself, and I helped him print it out. And he would sit on the stoop, and I would sit away from him, and people would walk by, they'd be like, why is this little kid out here by himself? And he'd be like, hi, I'm selling books. Would you like to buy some? And they'd be like, sure, yeah, how much? He's like, $20. And the people would be like, okay, here's the $20. And he actually made some good money, so I was like, this plan is going really well. This dream I had for him is coming to fruition. He's gonna have all these options when he's growing up. And later that summer, my parents asked if they could have him and his brother over. And his brother was too young. We're like, no, like he'll stay with us, but you can take our older son for a couple of weeks. So my dad came over to New York and flew him back to California, where I'm from. And my son had a blast over there, and we check in with him throughout the day. And then he came back with my dad, and within moments, I could tell that he had been ruined. Like, he could hardly read. All he cared about was sports. Every single day he'd ask me, Dad, can we go out and play basketball? And before I had taken him out to play basketball, but now it was like, Dad, like, what are the drills? Like, take me through this drill. Like, I gotta work on my right, I gotta work on my left. And I was like, all right, I'm a supportive dad, so I'm gonna help you out with this, and I can teach you all these things. I've done sports, and I would teach him, and I'd be like, cool, this is fine, it's going okay. And then he'd get a new interest. I'm starting soccer. Like, I'm gonna be in the major leagues, Dad. You got to train me on this. And he would go crazy. And I would go with him. I'd take him to the next sport, do the next sport. And then he was like, I'm gonna do baseball. I'm like, cool. I bought him a bat, bought him a glove, showed him how to throw, how to catch. And then the season's coming up this spring, actually. And before the season even starts, he's like, Dad, I wanna do hockey. And by this time, I'm like, no. We are not doing this. Like, this is just me in repeat. And no, you can't play hockey. Like, it's too expensive. We're not buying all that gear. I just bought you the baseball bat and the glove, and the season hasn't even started. We're going to do baseball. You said you wanted to do baseball. And I got really into him in his room. I was like, I'd had it. And I actually, one of the few nights where I went to bed, and he went to bed after I was like upset at him. And the next morning I woke up, I was feeling a little bad, but I was like, no, like he's going way over the top. And then I got a text from my friend, and it was an Instagram screenshot, and it said, Kobe died in helicopter crash. And growing up in Southern California, being a Lakers fan from before Kobe even got there, it was just too much. And I knew the first person I had to call was my wife because she's an even bigger Kobe fan than I am. She once chased down Kobe after having back surgery, literally running after him to meet him and take a picture with him. So I called her and I was like, it's being reported that Kobe's been killed in a helicopter crash. And she's like, what? No, it's not. And so we get off the phone and she's looking it up and I'm looking it up and all these videos are popping up, and I thought I was going to be really caught up with her, but I realized that for that whole day, I was now getting caught up in all of this, and it hit me that sports it's not just a game. That when Kobe had started playing, I actually hated Kobe. Because my favorite player was Eddie Jones, and Kobe came in and kind of took Eddie Jones' minutes, and he was this little 17, 18-year-old kid who was shooting up air balls and thinking he was the greatest of all time, like, no, who's this kid? But then gradually he started to play better, and obviously he was much better than Eddie Jones, and they won some championships. I started like, he's all right, but he's not my guy. And then he went through the stuff in Colorado, and I was like, I mean, he's still not. But as time would go on and he would, start to have losses, I would see him mature. And I realized that sports wasn't just a game, that I was watching this guy from a time when he was immature to a time when he was grown and giving back to people. And sports was the opportunity for me to be connected to this person that I didn't even know. And what's funny is that everyone's been telling me that, there was 9 people in the helicopter crash, and they've been trying to get me to get invested in the other people, and I feel terrible for those other people. But the truth is that there's only one person on that helicopter that I had been connected to for 20 plus years. And then his daughter I was connected to because of him. And when the people try and convince me, I think, yes, I would really want to care and I really want to get connected, but I have this one connection. And if you realize that there was a plane crash in Turkey a month ago, and many people died, and I know I can't name any of those people. I didn't spend a day on Instagram the whole week feeling down. And it occurred to me that sports was not what I feared, but that I had this deep-seated fear within me that my son would get wrapped up in sports and he would become just like me, and he would be single-dimensional, unintelligent, and he wouldn't have all of the options that I wanted him to have. I had a dream for his life, and I wanted it to be something that was bigger and better than mine. But what I didn't remember, and that I took for granted, was that sports gave me the opportunity to meet and interact with people from all different backgrounds. It gave me a place where I could always feel at home. And it gave me a connection to a person that I didn't even know that I would call my friend, and that I lost. Thank you.